So we come to the fourth Sunday of Lent. The fourth Sunday of Lent. Kind of means that we're in the downhill haul of this season. We're past halfway, and the finish line is within sight. As we start looking at our calendars and we see Easter looming with different activities that will be happening between now and then in our families and in our parish. Yet at the same time, we can't rush the end of Lent. It is still an important time for us to take a look at things in our lives. Now, the one thing about this particular weekend is that what we should not rush is the fact that the Lord has forgiven us. Now, the reality of it is we are imperfect, and we need God's forgiveness. And so Lent reminds us over and over again of our humanity, of our imperfections, of our inability to really understand who the Father really is. This morning, the gospel for this daily Mass was the story of the tax collector and the Pharisee in the temple praying. And the one says, look how good I am. I tithe and I fast and I do all these things. And I'm not like all these other people or like this tax collector over here. And the tax collector prays, be merciful on me, Lord, I am a sinner. And Jesus raises up the tax collector as being the one that we should be like, not the other one. Not proud of what we do religiously, but we should be like the tax collector who's always looking to God for mercy. So here's the gospel today. We have the prodigal son. There are so many things that can be said about this parable, and so many things have been said over the 2,000 years that this parable has been in our possession since the day that Jesus told it. What did Jesus mean by it? Lots of things. Lots of things. And that's what's the beauty of Scripture. We can pull so many meanings from these parables. That's what the purpose of a parable is, to get us to think about things in our own life and to think about things about God. So we have son number one. Son number one, the first one in the story, is the one who is rebellious. He is the son who is selfish. He is the son who is grasping, reckless, and stupid. Who of us don't have somebody in our families like that? Someplace along the way, somebody in our family is the screwball, who's always getting in trouble, who seems always to be moving away from where they should be, or they're not doing what mom and dad want them to do. Sometimes they're grown-ups doing this, and sometimes it's parents who are in their 60s who are pulling their hair out over some of these kids that are still rebellious, grasping, and stupid. But this son in the story, we know that he goes off and just makes a mess of his life. But one thing about this son that we know for sure is he has something very much in common with his brother. What he has in common with his brother is that he does not understand the Father. He really doesn't know the Father. Because when he decides finally to come home, to make that turn and walk back towards the Father, he expects that he would be treated as a hired hand, or maybe a slave. He'd have a better life than he had in the hog farm. But he's going to come back, and he's going to take what he deserves. He doesn't understand, know, or appreciate who this Father is. No more does he begin to walk up the lane, and the Father lifts up his garments, for that's how an owner would be dressed, and he runs towards his son. And he doesn't even let him finish his recited soliloquy until he says, put a ring on his finger, put shoes on his feet, and get the robe out. I'm restoring him. When we think about those people in our families, perhaps it's ourselves. Perhaps we were the ones that were dealt our parents grief when we were growing up. But we decided someplace along the way to come home and to recognize who mom and dad is. Kind of like the kids who go off to college and all of a sudden realize, gee, I didn't know mom and dad were so smart. We grow up. Today we give all sorts of reasons why people do stupid things. All their psychological reasons, or it's why they were abused, or it's because of this and that. They have all these reasons. Nonetheless, the consequences is it's still that they moved away and they found a place that's really not life-giving. Now the older son, he's the perfect one, isn't he? He's the one that did all the work. He took care of the farm, took care of the sheep, but he also did not know the Father. Did not know his Father. He found more companionship and self-worth by hanging out with his friends. Notice the line, he doesn't give me so much as a goat to celebrate with my friends. He didn't understand that his Father loved him. As is in the line of the story, everything I have is yours. So the older son really doesn't know the Father either. The Father loves him. He comes out to him and begs him to come in. Neither understood the Father. The younger one didn't know the Father was merciful. The older one did not know the Father loved him. Let's plan to meet the Father in these last weeks of Lent. Let's plan to meet the Father in these last weeks of Lent, where we literally turn back to him and come toward him and let him come running toward us. But we have to do that turn. We have to do that facing in the other direction before he will come running to us. We have to make some effort to want to return. By committing ourselves perhaps this coming week, not this coming week, we will be after, to come to the mission. To make that time in our week at the end of each day, for those 4 days, to come to the talks that will be given. To experience the reconciliation service. To maybe understand the Eucharist a little bit more deeply. Turn towards the Lord and come toward him and let him run towards you and let ourselves know who the Father is a little more deeply. Over and over, I've asked for activities that week in our parish and school to not happen in the evenings so that we can make this a retreat as a parish. To get away from it a little bit. Get cleaned up from your chores and get here by 7 o'clock. The sign-up sheets at the 3 doors are for volunteers to help with the exhibit that will be going on in the gym. We still need more. The sign-up sheets are not filled. Now is the time to get them filled. We really need your help. I really need to have those volunteers that will help with this. So check them out as you go out of church today, and please give them some of your time. Those of you who are retired, and especially living here in town, it's kind of like a no excuse. There's no problem with you just sitting there smiling at somebody and welcoming them. It doesn't take a whole lot, but it needs your presence. I know I've been contacting the grade schools in the area. I know Wayne is going to be bringing their grade school kids. Carlton is going to be bringing their grade school kids, and I presume you Les will be coming as well for the presentation on Monday morning when Russ Morall gives his talk to all the kids. And for those of you who cannot make the talk by him on Sunday afternoon at 2:30 on the Shroud, you can also come and join the kids at 9:45 on Monday morning. Conferences, as you know, are Monday evening, Tuesday evening, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days. So let us take this opportunity in our parish, this mission, to be surprised by the Father, to be surprised who the Father is. For the prodigal son, the Father is the one who will treat him not as a slave or a hired hand. You know, we think of God that way so often. We call it this: I need to do this, this, and this in order for God to love me. We really do that to ourselves. We think that by our performance and by our good deeds or by our earning his love, God will love us. That younger boy didn't do anything to earn his Father's love. He simply came home. His Father always loved him. Instead, let us find that Father who treats us that way, treats us well, and wants us to come back home and be welcomed by him. Each and every day of our lives, each and every moment of our growing experience in life, as we grow from one age to the next, we can look to the Father and learn something more about him each and every day. He's a mystery, and we will never be finished really knowing who the Father is. But essentially, the Father is love, and he is in love with us.